to get him to, one, explain himself, as well as, two, not do anything rash. Speaking of doing things rash, Seraph did ignite a Spirit Guardians, and David did take the opportunity to try to make a martyr of himself, both either by burning himself with the Spirit Guardians, getting stabbed by Seraph's knives, that sort of stuff. The Spirit Guardians was dispelled, fortunately, and we managed to knock out David. And at that point, Elijah was very unsure as to who the transgressors are. Certainly, his people have been stigmatized, mistreated, and abused. But also, does that conduct allow them to begin murdering children? Albeit, Elijah wasn't the one that killed Fulton, so take it as you will. We went underground to the natives' tunnel network, their hovel, their caverns, and Elijah showed us the way to Fulton's body. Flora was down there, grieving over a dead Fulton, and we just talked with Elijah about what the next steps are going forward. Let us try to make this right tonight.
And please keep David from doing anything else.
Yeah. Make sure David doesn't do anything stupid, and that this next 24 hours or thereabout will take an immense amount of conviction and courage. But if you don't muster it now, you're going to regret it for the rest of your life. So, promise. We left and went back to the mayor's estate. On the way in, like a dad waiting on the porch with a shotgun, was the Lord Marshal. And he was asking, he wanted to know, he demanded to know what happened to Fulton. Viper told Sarah to just, go on ahead and he'll explain it to the Lord Marshal, but in the meantime, to go round up everyone. His Viper then explained in a very delicate manner, but pointedly blunt, what had happened to Fulton. And more importantly, what needs to happen in this town, as well as happen with the Lord Marshal. Everyone in this town is corrupt. Everyone in this town is guilty of something at this fucking point. And it's going to keep getting worse until someone breaks the cycle. And it all starts tonight. The Lord Marshal was willing to wait. He wanted to blitz go into the tree, but Sebastian was like, let us go with you, in case you need our help, and in the background, in case we need to stop you from doing something stupid. The Lord Marshal agreed, and then we regrouped, and the situation got explained of what happened to Fulton, the understandable reaction from the natives, and one thing that was very interesting to catch, I don't know if everyone caught it, I'm pretty sure not everyone caught it, Ward definitely had a, oh shit, sort of muted reaction to all of this. The classic, this was not according to plan. We had some ideas on suspects as well as to what caused all this. One of those suspects, in Viper's incorrect assumption, Elaine, the mayor's second son, was the primary suspect. So we went to go have a chit chat with him, and in doing so, we dropped he had a skull casually tossed his way, to which he understandably freaked out about, and we began trying to pick apart what started all this, with the creation of the boogeyman being incited by not only natives but also actual Dale burgers. Dale burgers.
They are in fact burgers.
Dale burgers. But then Jericho caught it. Being a man of the earth, he is like, oh, we're going about this all wrong. Who would want to incite this? Certainly Elaine might have some political reason for it, but he is also, as far as we can tell, good to his word and true to his heart, and when it comes to being nice and trying to fix this town. So he wouldn't have wanted to start all of this. The suspect, this amorphous image of a suspect, would be someone that wants to undo all of this, particularly the people in the mayor's estate. So we had a new suspect. A woman who was how was she described as Carver's favorite? Something along those lines.
Yeah. Until she wasn't.
Until she was gone from the world.
Mhm.
And we know she had, some friends and family in the immediate vicinity. The exact phrase is, if he's playing us at this point, he deserves to win. Yeah, that's more or less it. Yeah, at that point, I would just applaud it. Major psychopath points. So we had a new suspect to chase down. And that started at visiting the fortune teller, Adalea. Although she had skipped town, but we sat around thinking, okay, even though she is a woman capable of magic, which is, no small impressive feat, surely she's not that powerful or that crazy enough to go traveling by herself in summertime Duskland territory. Surely not, especially with like a whole caravan and stuff like that. So we figured that she was somewhere in town or nearby town still, and thus we investigated, tried to find where she was, which was pretty fast, honestly. We talked to Elijah, got his insights on it and stuff like that, but that's besides the point. First, we agreed to escort the Lord Marshal back to the tree, and we did. We did. Lord Marshal demanded, first and foremost, the killer of his son. Sebastian noted that to him, I find it interesting that you don't ask for your son's body first, you ask for his killer first. Noted. But in a welcome twist, a change of heart, the Lord Marshal threw down his blade, literally threw down his blade, when David was brought forth. And with no, targeted outlet for his anger, his frustration, his vengeance, David began to sort of crumble, at least ideologically. He was just left with his own cesspool of hatred and began cleansing himself from it. So, this town will be a bit better going forward once we solve... Well, now that we solve the symptoms, but we need to solve the source of all the problems. Fortunately, Booyog solved a percentage amount of said problems the last evening, which none of us questioned at all. Totally all copacetic and good. He just disappeared somewhere. Sure. Who knows? Elaine knows. We know.
Yep.
So yeah, we need to do away with the mayor. And Sebastian did double check with Jericho, Viper, to Scarecrow, that a Sister Light is from this town, and they did say they're going to fix this. To which Jericho made it clear in no vague terms that if she finds out what happens to this town, she's at the best going to be heartbroken, at the worst be absolutely furious. And it's just like, we should fix that, because a raging Sister of Light, a powerful raging Sister of Light, is not good for anyone. Except, I guess, the forces of evil, but, whatever. So, we need to kill the mayor. That is confirmed.
Mm-hmm.
But first, let's chase down the potentiality of who caused all of this. So we found Adalea, who was... Where was she? She was hiding on the west side of town in the forestry amongst a bunch of, hunter...
forest people.
Hunter people. Yeah, forest folk. Rangers.
Yeah.
And then they were all like, we have no clue who you're talking about.
That's
people
why.
who are armed to the teeth and dressed in special gear that visited us in the dead of night. We have no clue who you're talking about.
Why don't you trust us?
I don't understand. I don't get why people don't trust us. Anyway, hand me the toxins.
But Viper had a detect magic up his sleeve, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like a SEAL
Adelaide
Team 6 shows up at your doorstep wanting browser.
It's true.
You know what I'm not gonna do if they did that? I'm not gonna stop them from entering my house with a spear.
What was that guy's name? Travis? Is that his name?
Travis, Jared,
Travis Scott.
Travis
Jeremy.
Jeremy?
Germa?
Jer-
I think it's Jeremy.
It's
actually.
Jeremy. It's Jeremy.
Jeremy. Brave Jeremy, this young lad. I don't honestly know how old he was. I want to say like he was 16 or something. If everyone feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. Had the gall and the audacity and the courage to stand up to all of us with only a spear. To which Jericho simply remarked, "You gotta widen your stance. You gotta fix the footwork there." And then Bastion followed up, "If you're going to threaten me, hold your spear properly." It's pathetic. But yeah, we found Adalea, and she dismissed Jeremy, and we took a little walk, and she confirmed to us who had done it. It being, the conjuring of the boogeyman. It was the sister of Carver's quote-unquote favorite, which I hate using that as a phrase, but it's the best descriptor. But she had perished, ironically, by the hands of the boogeyman as well, no? She was one of the victims. Or am I misremembering that? Am I smoking something? Okay. And we found out in a grand scheme of things our way, because the boogeyman punishes bad children, and her target was Carver, by the twisted morality of the mayor and his family, Carver was a good kid to his father's eyes. So that's why the boogeyman never targeted him, and likely would have targeted Elaine, because Elaine is a bad kid to the mayor. Which is a very weird, twisted way of going about it. But luckily we saved Elaine, so it all works out. And in a poetic irony sort of way, the boogeyman took care of his own maker and tied his own loose end. And thus they tied it for us. With, the potential exception of, is Adalea at fault for allowing this to happen, putting the gun on the table, so to speak. But I don't think any of us had any judgment to lay upon her for that. She couldn't have known what was going to happen with all this.
Yeah.
I sold you a gun and you used it to shoot yourself, I didn't know that was going to be what happened, but don't blame me, I just sold the gun.
Sue me.
Sue me, yeah. So we departed from Adalea and went to regroup with Castor. Castor had been sending by Bradford. And he only takes a scant 2 hours to make it from the hideout, the central hideout in this zone, all the way to here, because he's just that fast and that cool. 2 hours. So we regrouped with him. We laid out our plans for the assassination of the mayor. And here we are.
And I think it was conducted, and we were going to handwave it unless not. Am I wrong?
I live as well. Because I definitely think us setting up the aftermath, so to speak, who's in charge, proving our alibi, stuff like that might be necessary.
And nothing else happened whatsoever.
Nothing else happened whatsoever.
Yeah. Got a nice little reunion with Castor, and now we're gonna make him murder a guy.
What?
Castor met, Cleo and 2.
Yeah. He seemed very emotional seeing us all again, so that was nice.
Yeah, he
Also,
kept crying. Happy
My
tears.
control button.
Also, I dropped this for everyone's reference, and you Steinhardt probably going to drop tomorrow.
Ooh.
Oh.
Getting closer to the final version.
Hell yeah.
It's 470 pages.
What
Jesus
in the name of good God?
It's because
Well, how
they
many
have
of those
monsters and it's like setting info as well and stuff in there.
Okay.
Right?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. So it's just
Oh wait, is that why it's not copied? Haven't
Monkey DM, the person who made Steinhardt, is saying, so while I figure out a way to export the entire file without
Wait, what?
setting fire to my apartment. Yeah, gotta appreciate. Ooh, this is good music.
Ooh.
Some lyrics here and there, but just one-offs.
So, I sort of asked this really, how would you go about?
Oh, you're cutting out a lot.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yes.
Wow.
Okay,
Yeah, for now.
it must be my Yeah, I'm never gonna update my.
Now you're cutting out again.
Yeah.
You're talking smack on it.
How's that? Is that better?
For now.
Okay, is that better?
Try a longer sentence.
For some reason, I'm ranging between like -53, -7.
Eh?
I don't know why I keep having like a range of 30 decibels in the way.
Huh.
That's kind of crazy. But okay, I set it here. I hope this doesn't get any.
Yeah,
feedback
I would
when
set
y'all's
it
in.
pretty far to the left if I were you.
I just don't want it to start echoing. But is
Nah,
this
it
pulling
was-
up everything?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So as the person who's sort of engaging this plan, well, how would you go about it?
So first we need to set up our alibis.
Correct.
Right. It reflects poorly upon the watch if the mayor gets assassinated under our watch. So we need to set up an alibi for why it was allowed to happen, so to speak. How the act fell through our net.
The plan floated before was that we were just gonna leave and then Caster's gonna do it, but I don't know.
Well, that's the physical action. We just need to set up the alibi for us not to get caught
Right.
in the fact that it was our actions.
So
Right, I'm saying the alibi is that like we were like we're done here, the monster's dead, we leave, and then Caster comes as like a fake monster.
That could work, but then it would sort of reflect, I don't know. Because if something kills the mayor, we aren't there, even though we said we killed the monster, everyone, because they're superstitious idiots, would just be like, you didn't kill the monster! And it's just like, well, we did. You guys just don't realize it.
So I think the alternative would be, yeah, establish those alibis. Mayor gets killed, and then
Also, oh, you are echoing now. I'm sorry.
yeah, you are sorry.
I
There was no
really
winning.
am. I really am, because I know like this is such a finicky thing.
I'm gonna turn y'all down on my in
That should
and
make it
see
so
if that
echoing is less?
stops it from happening.
In theory.
Ash is already on 84. Garth is on 160.
I have a booming voice, I've been told many a time.
boom.
I don't see it lighting up anymore, so hopefully that.
Okay.
We'll see if it sticks. But yeah, establishing alibis while we're in town. Mayor gets killed. We investigate, quote unquote, we investigate the body. And luckily, we know exactly what did this, and then we track it out of town.
Oh yeah. So we can like still prove our credibility by tracking it out of town.
So
I'm game for
I
that.
do bring up the fact y'all have not informed Ward of this.
No, we have not told Ward of this at all. And we learned out of game that Ward had poisoned the tree with a fake poison that Rocket cooked up.
Yep.
Yeah. So it looks like the tree is dying so effectively that it tricked even the fireflies. But in the reality of it, it'll be fine.
Jericho did mention in character that there was something with the tree going on.
Yeah, it's
To,
like word is
who
withholding
arrived.
information.
So yeah, I think bring us up with Ward is probably
There was
Yeah.
a point where we did establish an alibi before, at least for meeting Caster.
Yeah, but that alibi only works for Caster. Like that, we're going to do some reconnaissance in a certain zone, and
But
so
when
on.
we talked to Ward about that, it was alleged that the reason we're calling Caster is because we might be deposing the mayor.
Yeah. Oh yeah, true.
She
Yeah,
knows that we're doing it, doesn't she? Or am I crazy?
She knows we're doing it, but she doesn't know what we're planning.
I think she specifically doesn't want to know. Deniability and all that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So what is y'all's? How do y'all proceed?
I guess if it sounds like if we need alibis, then Ward is the one to go to because she's done it like what, once or twice before now.
Right.
So I think we go to her. Hey, we need something to do in town. Something that we'll all be seen doing, which is not killing the mayor. And then, if the mayor were to perish while we were doing this thing,
That'd be a real
That would be-
tragedy.
yeah, we could drop in, and get out of town, tracking a monster. After we establish who the new person charges. So first step, find
We
Ward.
could just do like a very visible patrol through town, and then like the perimeter.
hmm
You tell me.
Right. Let's look for Ward. You two stay here, and I think. What do you think a good time is? 1 hour? 2 hours? Put everything in motion.
This town is not small. Traversing only takes a few minutes. A couple of hours should work.
All right then.
People are still asleep.
All right. Is it nighttime?
It's after the bell.
After
Yeah,
midnight?
because when we ran into the hunter people with Adalea, they're like in their bedrolls and stuff, right?
Little hovels.
Which I think is a perfect time for trustworthy people to arrive. By the way, I don't get why they're so suspicious of us.
If we can somehow convince the Lord Marshal to do whatever with us, so that he is our prime witness, there you go. He's probably the most trustworthy guy in this town.
We also should talk to Elaine because we totally sent him on a goose chase for a woman that no longer exists in the world,
And yeah, true.
and he definitely could help us set up alibis.
Yeah.
And we also should just, out of courtesy, tell him, "Hey, we figured out the answer. You don't need to keep looking."
Yeah, you know what?
Hey,
Yeah,
guy.
that'll be the order. Let's go find Elaine, then return to the mayor's estate. Maybe talk to Ward and Lord Marshal.
Well, perfectly. They're all at the estate.
All three of them?
Hey, yeah. Friends in high places, huh?
Do these say?
I don't think we should tell the Lord Marshal if we're going to tell Elaine. Like, we should involve one
Oh,
with the alibi, not both.
No. We're not gonna. We're gonna involve him in the alibi. He's not gonna know it's an alibi, though. He just needs to be a prime witness.
I'm game.
Okay.
To the mayor's estate.
Over to the mayor's estate. As you enter, click, you do see Lord Marshal having placed a nice burial site next to his house for young Fulton. And is sort of just standing there with Ward.
Is Ward wearing her mask?
She is not.
Good.
Good.
Jericho will
Look.
remove his as he walks over to the burial site. It's impolite.
Fair. We approach.
Jericho doesn't immediately say anything. He waits to be addressed as he kind of like folds his hands in front of his not chest, in front of his waist, and just sits there in silence. Moment of silence for the kid.
You see Ward look back to you, then to Lord Marshal. I'll take my leave. I'll be around if you need. He does not respond.
Mhm.
As she, do you walk with her away, like, out of earshot?
Yeah.
As she puts her helmet back on, what's the situation?
We have plans.
But
Yeah.
right now. What we need is alibis. A reason to not be here and eyes to see us not here.
That's something that guards the Watcher's reputation as well.
She looks down, thinks for a second. What about securing a brokering peace deal?
Sounds worthwhile.
Everyone seems to think we have a vested interest in this town anyways.
Yeah,
But
can't tell you why they think that.
no job is ever simple.
She looks over to Lord Marshal. Not him. He's done enough.
The second son, perhaps. He certainly would agree with it. And I doubt the male himself would want to negotiate terms with the people he calls savages.
I don't think there would be any progress there.
Mm-mm.
Plus, he's pretty passed out.
Celebrated the boogeyman's death.
She just looks over. I get the feeling this isn't too uncommon.
Hmm. Well then, peace talks it is. Will that be done soon? Say, in the next hour or so?
It
You
would be
saw the
better.
state that David was.
The iron is hot. Now is the time to strike it.
Precise. Capitalize off the emotion. She just looks over. I'll grab a lane. I'll meet you at the tree.
See you there.
Perfect.
To the tree then.
As she heads over, roll a perception.
All of us?
Whoever's interested.
You know I am.
Always.
Oh, toss one down range real fast. Yeah.
No. Always be interested. ABI.
Sounds like a disease.
Shh.
Anyways.
It does sound like disease.
The hyperfocus
that's-
disorder.
Ankle brachial index. Yeah, there is an acronym for that.
Oh shit.
Well, I guess I'm that now.
So those of you above 20 do notice that her pace slows as she takes a glance over at the grave before picking back up and getting to her objective.
Yeah, I can't say I'm surprised. He doesn't have any comments on it. Just something unfortunately to note.
As you head over, click, 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 click of the gate.
He always does a click, click, click over the gate, and maybe it's me being paranoid if I wonder there's something there.
It's because one time we're gonna hear click, click, dunk.
He's like, I'm actually telling you a Morse code, a deep dark secret. You guys just haven't got it yet.
You know, if things had gone differently, it would have came up.
Ooh.
Things had gone differently, you would have started hearing it when there was no one coming. Scheduled.
Oh.
Ooh.
But such an event did not occur, and you make your way back over to the tree. What do you do? How do you go about setting said event up?
Well, definitely get David and Elijah notified as to what the negotiation. Who will be leading the other side of negotiation, and that He is going to be the fairest shake of the hand they'll get outside the Lord Marshal.
Okay.
But
Gotcha.
first, we need
Well-
to go find them and talk to them.
The only two that speak good enough common are the ones you're talking to.
Oh, should we let Elijah know that Adelaide is still in town?
Nah.
I'll cryptically infer that she may be closer than you think.
Ah, there you go.
As you are sort of brokering this peace, David does come towards y'all and ask to be the one who represents the people.
Are you ready to make things right, David?
I would like for things to change.
Inside check.
Sam. Oh, yeah. I need to toggle back on.
18 plus 1 again.
There you go.
There's something very powerful about a parent forgiving the killer of their child.
Oh.
Yeah. Things will change, David. Things are always changing. It takes a guiding hand to make sure it changes for the better. And you and your brother have already tried to change things once. It is insanity to repeat the same efforts and expect different results.
When will we be doing?
Soon. Within the hour.
He just nods. And you do see he's not carrying around a weapon anymore.
He lost his self-sacrificial nature. For now.
He's a man of peace now.
I think if the town does not change for the better, he will double down on his previous method.
Yeah.
Let's make sure that doesn't happen, huh? Or this is just something Sebastian do because geopolitics is his thing. Just get an idea of what everything they like. I guess what tasks are they forced to do? How is the instruction of said task delivered to them? How brutally, rather, stuff like that. Because if both sides know what, just make the playing field even, right? No vague terms, no unknown circumstance, nothing.
Mhm.
Everything is made perfectly clear. Like ironclad contract of sorts. A
Okay.
pact. Yeah.
So,
Just-
sort of an inference that you've gotten, and even from the harshest of people, it came from the mayor. He didn't want these people killed.
Right.
He wanted them productive.
Hmm.
But he used a stick instead of a carrot to motivate.
Right. Because if they're doing stuff, then it's profitable for everyone. You know, altruism through selfishness. That is what Elaine is going to recommend. He wants to find stuff for them that they can do.
Right. Get them out of their hovel, so to speak.
Right.
The townsfolk and obviously some of them do farm work and stuff like that, but do all of them actually contribute the same amount? I know the ship captains don't.
Yeah, correct. They're the people that run the books and have the ships. So you got really three things to do outside of specialties trades, which is get wood, get food, or get metal.
Get going.
Get inside
This-
that type 6 orifice.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna end that
Blessed
with get
cave.
money. That's one.
Oh, this is something Sebastian would pitch, and he's asking this predominantly to Elijah. Their people are naturally skilled at being quiet. Elijah is, a paragon of that. Is that something if Elaine buys into that is, he could help further? Because this town will inevitably expand. That is hopefully everyone's goal on a strategic and political sense. When you need to expand, you need to know the territory you're expanding into. Could they be scouts? Hunters? That sort of stuff?
Spooks.
Spooks? Yuri will be like...
Actually, perfect job for him, really. The
and
one
it would
that
get
they're-
another level.
Easily the most qualified to do, and probably come back alive.
Something Sebastian would pitch for the efforts going forward, and this town's future in mind.
Smart. Good thinking.
Yeah, none of these fucking drunk ass ship captains gonna be doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you have the starting principle, you can kind of afford to do less.
Starting capital, more like.
That said, Elaine and Ward do make their way over. But in tow, they have someone with them.
Oh. The mayor.
No,
Please don't. Oh, thank God.
a rather older lady covered in like garments and has her head wrapped up. And she's dressed like one of the people you've seen in the tent cities.
Hmm? So Viper will just sort of lean over and whisper to everyone. Do you any of you know who that is?
You don't?
You do?
I was too busy skulking instead of looking at the people.
I'm surprised you don't know who that is.
Yeah, we don't either.
Good to see we're all on the same level. Leans away.
Yeah, do they seem at all familiar to us?
You saw this lady walk around buying groceries 2 days ago.
She was getting some cabbages
Yeah,
from a
I
man who
mean-
was screaming about his cabbages.
Maybe, but not really.
Yeah.
The mysterious woman. She's a
Is-
hag.
Elaine walks up with Ward. You just hear him say, "I apologize about being late.
So, who's your friend?
Oh, thought I was in the middle of talking, but that's fine. As I was saying, this is Hilda. She looks over to you, and she's probably got to be in her 60s.
Wow,
Whoa.
impressive for the Dustmans.
Yeah, honestly,
I
it's
figured-
probably
I
the oldest
figured
person we've ever
general
seen.
Like, general life expectancy is 40. Well, for some people in this party, technically the oldest person we'd see would either be Alphonse or Captain Diana.
Okay, they don't count. They're vampires.
Hey.
Did I stutter? You freak of nature.
She just
bloodsucker.
sort of looks over. It's a pleasure to meet
Jericho puts one hand on his stomach, one hand on his back, and like gives a bow and says, "Pleasure's mine, milady."
you. Very formal. I thought it would only be appropriate if we're talking about the future of this town, for everyone to have a voice.
Ah, so she is an alderman for the 10 cities.
He just looks over. To my knowledge, Madame Hilda is very respectable within her community.
The respect is earned, Madam Hilda. Thank you.
As you head over, You all meet up outside of the great tree.
Are the fireflies still up on the tree?
A lot of them are, but not as many.
Roger.
You see as everyone sort of groups up. There are several of guards that are sort of trying to make themselves inconspicuous, but clearly on the roam, close to the vicinity.
The
And
Lord
they
Marshal's not here, correct?
correct.
Yeah, he's a bit busy.